Hi everyone, Jamie from Jamie's Place. It's been a while that you saw my face, didn't you? Well, for my season 3 finale of my talk show, and for the final 2 episodes of season 3 in general, I decided to dedicate the talk show as the final ones. I intentionally delayed this until, of course, there's nothing left to do. The Valve Index unboxing marked the end of my unboxing show of season 3, and the 2 8 Generation console reviews dedicated to the end of the unboxing shows. And with the event series being discontinued, there's only one show to complete, which is this one. This video will be split up in 2 parts. This is basically me explaining what happened with me in 2020. So for the first half, this video, I will talk about the months January all the way to right before I joined VRChat again. And then next week, the finale, I will talk from the moment I joined VRChat to the moment I'm speaking. I'm excluding December. That will be the own thing, you know the drill now. December is secret. I do a lot of things behind your back, and then by the end of December, I say updates, and I'll explain to you what happens between December and January. So basically, just 11 months. All right. So after the horrors of December 2019, talking about Christmas being ruined for the 7th time in a row, and London, which mentally destroyed me for the first time in my life, to basically having a mental breakdown and ignoring New Year for once. I really didn't care anymore. I started 2020 in January, empty, without a soul. For the first time since 2013, I felt empty. The famous pit that I fell in 2013, I was back in the pit, sadly. So in January I was a wreckage. You know the drill, these are my dogs. Congratulations, welcome on the video. I wanted to reboot myself in 2020. I did a lot of good things in 2019. I made a list, a 3-year long list, 2019, 20 and 21. And I would fix myself, so I would be a better human being by December 31st, 2021. I did a lot of great things in 19, I did my talk about it. But in 20, for part 2, after the December event, it was time that I take control over who I talk to, who influenced me, and about myself. So the very first task I did was cut off toxic people out of my life. One by one. Friends, unfriends. People who make me awful, push them away, block them, and yada yada yada. I finally said no to some people. I stood up to some people that actually deserve to be punished for things, but whatever. Like, I stood up for myself in January, saying, I'm done with this. So, yeah. And I continued doing that in February. Even though I was broken inside, I pushed a lot of people away from me, except a few. That's for later. But I also did something internal. You see, I love Apple. Back then, I only had Apple products. So, how many Apple products did I bought this year? None. That's the first. I did bought a lot of other stuff. So in January, I bought the OnePlus 7T Pro, the Nintendo Switch 2, review coming up next year, and the Nintendo Switch Lite. The Lite was basically just for fun. I don't know. And I sold it, I gave it away, whatever. The OnePlus 70 Pro was a good phone, but not for me. So a great family member of mine has it now, and he lost it. I kept the Switch too. That marked the beginning. And I love the Nintendo Switch too. It was my very first non-Apple product I decided to keep and treat with the same kind of respect as my Apple products. And in February, I bought the Xbox One X. I wanted to buy Blu-rays again. I never owned them, so I wanted to own a Blu-ray player. Instead of buying a Blu-ray player, I wanted to buy a game console with a Blu-ray player. So I got the Xbox One X. And I love that machine. You got the review last week. So that helped. And basically that's all for February. The big thing is March. Okay, we'll start with the easy thing. I got the PlayStation 4 Pro 3rd generation for March, every single month. So January was basically the Switch, February the Xbox, March the PlayStation. Time to get devices back that I missed, that made me happy. Because Apple is nice, but there's no fun in them. Just me owning Apple. So yeah, in the beginning of March I got the PlayStation and I loved it. And then lockdown happened. So I was still destroyed from December, because right after December, in January, I started working again, keep working. Never got a time, think straight. Then the lockdown happened and I was basically home. Home with these 3 devices that made me happy for once. So I played some games and I admire these devices. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be the first one to admit it. But the lockdown saved my life. The lockdown actually came at the perfect moment. I needed to be saved. I needed time to recover from December. Because that was a big mental hit on me. So being home, not talking to humans, helped me. The longer the lockdown took, the better I became. I lied to friends and co-workers like, yeah, eventually I got bored and I'm glad the lockdown is over. Actually, no. In my eyes, I could use some hormones. So in March, the lockdown happened, and in April, I'll continue with the lockdown. And I rested for once. I had to think about things. But then, yeah, I lost my best friend Chloe. I was alone at home and Chloe supported me. But then I lost her. Still miss her to this day. She was what I called my sister. I really cared about her. But she just left. You know why? I made a video from her, but I even had to cancel the comment section and turn them off because they were so toxic. I will not talk about what happened, but I will tell you what happened after. After Chloe abandoned me, I was alone. Remember, I came from a narcissistic relationship that basically made me isolated from everyone else. So I had no other friends. Because she took them away from me. Because she wanted all the attention for herself. And Chloe was always there for me no matter what happened. The only one that actually supported me and believed me over her. Because Chloe is from the US. So yeah, that took a hit. So I was friendless by the end of April. And it took me by surprise. I had no hope. Yet I decided to talk to 2 humans who actually supported me then, that are not Chloe. A friend from Belgium and Olivia. I talked about Olivia. So let's talk about that friend of Belgium. She's a nice girl, she's nice, she's sweet, she supported me, but she has her way, like some borderline problems. So she has like, you need to give me all the attention. If you don't do that, I explode and I will ignore you. Like, so that has been going for a few weeks and stuff. And eventually I said, drop. So I had her on Snapchat. So I just deleted Snapchat. I told her, I need to be alone for you. I need to. So I deleted Snapchat and basically didn't talk to her anymore until last month. So I was alone with Olivia. I talked to her. We talked this out, we had a conversation. She explained what happened. So let me rephrase that again. What happened in December should never have happened in the first place. Olivia didn't do that intentionally. She didn't purposely want to hurt me. She has a problem with maintaining friends. She has some social problems and she has a hard time since her best friend Angela left. And I supported her, but she panicked. And it escalated, of course, in December. I talked to her, she talked to me, she explained everything, that she's from Malaysia and she really loved me, and she proved to me that she's from there, and we became friends again. And that was nice. I wish I could continue talking about Olivia, but there's a big empty hole with the VR chat thing, so let's not talk about Olivia for now. In episode 2 I will explain the Olivia part further. Let's jump to May, right before I joined VRChat. So but the next step was I still needed an Android phone because I was getting used to Android. So I got the best Android phone you can buy, which is Google's own Android phone, which was the Google Pixel 4. And I love the product. Black, 64GB model, pretty cheap compared to any other phone. But I also bought a copy of Windows 10 Pro. I said, you know what, let's buy Windows 10 Pro, because there was something that I missed for Windows 10 Pro. So I installed Boot Camp on my iMac Pro, cut up my 1TB hard drive in 500GB each, and installed Windows 10 Pro on that thing. And I installed VRChat. I will not explain what happened with me starting VRChat, but I will explain to you before. So originally I made a VRChat account in March 2018. I saw the Knuckles meme. What is this? Hell. So I just installed Boot Camp on my back then my 2016 15-inch MacBook Pro, and I played it. At 20 frames though, but I played it. I made a few friends, I talked to people, I had a nice conversation at a campfire, the old Japanese shrine, the Great Park since day one. Of course, the open mic night. Back then it was amazing. Now it's just, let's not talk about that. So it made me happy. I remember going to work with joy. And my computer fell asleep. Give me a moment. I need a white background. Alright, let's talk a white screen. Okay, so it actually made me happy, and I remembered it. But I want to give a shout out to Rose Doodle, the famous Calm VR chat user. Right before I bought Windows 10 Pro and installed Boot Camp on my Mac again, I watched her streams and her videos on YouTube, and I decided, oh, VR chat is still fun. So because of her, I want to thank you. If you ever find this video or someone of your friends shows you, I want to thank you for your streams and the videos you made, because thanks to you I had the courage, only you, I had the courage to go back to VR chat. Now let's cut off VR chat because we end in day one now of VR chat. So right before I played VR chat, I still felt empty. I had Olivia as a friend, and I had these 3 game consoles and my Pixel 4, and I had a copy of Windows 10 Pro in my hand. But I didn't feel happy yet. Alright, I'm sorry I have to cut these off, but I want to make this 2 parts, so this is part 1. So next week in part 2, I will continue literally day 1 VR chat, because that's the moment this happened with me. And I want to dedicate a long video dedicating this, and I want to explain. So welcome and goodbye. This is Jamie from Jamie's Place, and see you next week for part 2 of the 2020 talk, and of course the season 3 finale. It has been a blast, even though season 3 was weird. Still did the best I could do. Take good care, everyone. Stay healthy, and see you next time.